As inflation soars and the cost of land is at a premium, urban areas are densifying. Many rundown areas are being revitalized so the growing population can be housed. But who exactly is being housed? Chelsea Vickers and I, Cindy Terrell, will take a deep dive into Montreal's gentrification, its policies, and the upheaval of the at-risk, low-income population. We'll hear from the director of the Welcome Hall mission about the changing needs of the homeless and from someone camping out on Notre Dame because he cannot afford rent. We'll examine 3 case studies that concern Montreal's gentrification, how it cares for its homeless, and an example of successful social housing. Let's begin. Montreal has a population density of 4,517 people per square kilometre. Looking at the cost of living and average cost of a studio apartment, it is easy to see how quickly problems arise when a person pays more than 30% of their income towards rent. According to Centraide, half of the low-income population of Quebec live in the Greater Montreal area. This amounts to over 614,000 people. 4,000 of them are considered homeless.
There are many faces to the unhoused. The low-income at-risk population includes single-parent families, recent immigrants, minority groups, people living alone, and 40% of this population whose lives are in poverty are employed. Homelessness can quickly affect anyone capable of facing financial difficulty due to unforeseen circumstances. It is a fine line that we all walk and can be triggered by a variety of circumstances. This population is increasing in numbers, including women, refugees, young adults, and the aging population.
What's really important is how quickly and how effectively can we help people get on the right pathways to where they need to be, and it has to be their choice, not about us.
Unhoused are occupied with the life of survival. This includes being preoccupied finding food, shelter, clothing, and a place to sleep. They are struggling to figure out how and where to brush their teeth, shower, wash clothes, and schedule appointments. And they're needing a safe space to heal. They need protection, health services, and dignity. Barriers that limit us from building these resources are budgetary, which includes allocation of budget, disorganization of funding, political intention without follow-through, and private sector gentrification coming into our neighborhoods.
Parce que j'avais mon logement et puis mon propriétaire, il m'a augmenté de 92 $ par mois, comme ça. J'avais une compagnie d'excavation et j'ai travaillé comme un fou toute ma vie. Jusqu'à temps qu'en 2014, je tombe malade. Ça allait arrêter, j'étais plus capable de travailler du tout. Là. Ça, c'est un méchant coup dur. Là.
Martin n'a plus d'entreprise, mais il touche une assurance invalidité qui lui permet depuis d'avoir un certain niveau de vie et, jusqu'à tout récemment, un logement.
And now let us take a look at the case studies. Cabot Square Park was known as an unofficial meeting area for the Aboriginal homeless population in Montreal. A significant number of condos have been built surrounding the park between 2014 and 2023 and has completely gentrified the area. When the city decided to renovate it to make it safer for the surrounding residents, many outreach workers criticized the move as it would uproot the community using the park. In 2015, the city shut down Cabot Square for a year to renovate it. Grassy areas were turned into cemented walkways and new lighting was added. It made the park safer but did nothing for the community that already used the park daily, except push them out. The new benches in the park have armrests and metal protrusions in awkward places, making it impossible for people to lie down or sleep. The refrigerated ice rink installed in the winter was meant to create a welcoming space for everyone, but of course the homeless can't afford to rent skates, so they just become observers.
Chez Doris is a women's refuge located in downtown Montreal. There are 2 spaces they occupy across the street from each other, a day shelter, shown on this page, and the night shelter that brings dignity through its fresh design. It is a fully secured, monitored building with an intake reception area where items are sanitized before entering the shelter. They have a communal kitchen, an accessible elevator, and a communal TV room. The Japanese-inspired design of the cubicle allows a private space for the women to sleep instead of a typical shelter open bunk bed. There is an air filtration system in each unit, and each space has a small shelf, its own light, and outlets for charging their equipment. The women love the boxes and feel comforted within the space.
We will end with a successful project in Rosemont Petite Patrie. This is a mixed-use building on the bustling intersection of Saint-Denis and Rosemont streets. It incorporates a metro entrance for easy access to transportation and is very close to the newly renovated library. It has offices on the lower levels and 193 rental units for seniors, half of which are social housing. This project demonstrates the determination needed through the approvals of site, budgets, and construction. The plot of land was requested in 2011 and approved by the city in 2013. In 2015, Accès Logis confirmed the employment of the individuals to work on the project, and the build was finally approved in September of 2019 and construction began in October. This $112 million project is finally open for use, and the first clients moved in on December 2022. 11 years after the initial planning stages. 93 residents have already moved in. The floor plans show that each apartment, no matter the size, has a small balcony. Natural light flows through the entire space. All units are equipped with a washroom, kitchen, bedroom, with a small area for a dinette set and sofa, and there is plenty of storage space. An 82-year-old resident, enjoying her new social life, says of the building, "The environment is so lovely, and I have an exceptional view."
There's a lot of turning a blind eye in our society that causes for us to be closed off to understanding this issue. There's a concept called mainstreaming, which you see here in this image, that allows for a certain percentage of social housing being included in private sector. This is really important to integrating marginalized individuals so that they are considered equal. Those that work to make this concept happen are external agencies that strive to build caring communities by putting great effort into community action, mobilization, and citizen involvement to improve living conditions and empower communities and individuals. We need to bring awareness to these societal issues because once the most impoverished of our communities are upheld and cared for in dignity through the built environment, our overall quality of life improves throughout society as a whole.